Hey everyone, this is Fareedah Shahid, and I know many people have been following some of my story that I've been doing in the past few weeks actually, and every single month I designate the month for something, and May for me, it's May, right? April, May, yeah, it's May. A month before my birthday, okay? So happy early birthday to me, but May I have designated for a self-care month for myself, and more about making sure I'm healing and making sure I'm showing more of myself, and I'll be doing that on Instagram as well. So today is about no room for tech savvy people and how my journey into the security world and why I started the online security movement, aside from living in Saudi Arabia and speaking fluent, Arabic fluently and all of that. This is really my journey into being a tech savvy person and why I felt that there was no room for non-tech savvy people. So I went to Saudi Arabia at the age of 8 years old. My father moved there because he had a job there. Basically, that was it. He had a job there. I moved there. Hey everyone, if you're watching the replay, #replay. And we moved there. I got into the school. I used to love math. So if you love math, like, just give me some love, okay? I loved math. But the problem with math was I was doing math my own way. So I would use like multiplication tables and I would use it on my fingers because I had no idea how to memorize the times tables. They would put it in front of my face and they'd be like, yes, you have to memorize, 2 times 2 or 2 times 5 or something like that. And I could not remember it. It was really difficult for me to remember. So what I started to do was using the times tables on my fingers. Hey Nadia, how are you? Nadia, I think I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Let me know. So I started to do the times tables on my hands. But when I got into school, I went to an international school. So international school in Saudi Arabia is basically when the main language of the school is not English, but it's in Arabic. So it was an Arabic language school. I went to the school. I got there. We had an exam. We got a test, and they were like 8 times 9, and I was just like trying to figure it out inside of my, using my hands. And the teacher came over to my desk, stopped me, and was like, Fareedah, why are you using your hands for multiplication, right? Nidia. Thank you so much, Nidia. Such a beautiful name. And she came over to my desk and she said, Fareedah, why are you using your hands? Like, you should be memorizing the multiplication table, right, from your brain. But I was never that child that could memorize something without understanding how something went. So she stifled me from doing that. She was like, from now on, you're not using your hands. You're not going to use anything but memorization from the multiplication table. And she thought she was doing something great, but it stifled my learning. Also, every time we had a lesson in class, what she used to do, I don't know if anyone else had terrible math teachers growing up, or math professors in college as well. Absolutely terrible. People can know a subject, but if you don't know how to teach a subject, you're not a teacher. Just because you're an expert in a subject doesn't mean you know how to teach other people. It just means you're an expert in the subject, and that's it. Hey, Gary. And so she was an expert in math, but she was not a teacher, okay? So when she finished the lesson, she would be like, okay, that's it. Now do your homework, and she would leave. There was no question. So if you ever asked her a question about a mathematical equation, and keep in mind, this was me as a young girl in Saudi Arabia. This is a completely different language. So, bad teachers in general, right? And this was a completely different language. So I was learning math in Arabic. And they do, like, we write from this way, we write this way, and Arabic is this way. So their math equations was this way. So their rules is, it's crazy. And so I was sitting there in the class like, girl, I just came here. I'm trying to learn the language. I'm still struggling. And so it was a huge struggle because you could not ask any questions. If you ask any math questions, she will look at you like you're crazy or like you're stupid. Like, why are you? And she would sit there at the desk, cross her legs, and go, why are you asking a question? I just taught the lesson for 30 minutes. Why do you have a question? I don't know if anyone else had a teacher like that. Why are you asking a question? I just spent 30 minutes on a lesson and you're going to ask me a question. So that was something that happened, like, you couldn't ask any questions. So I went through 5th grade, 6th grade, 5th grade and 6th grade without understanding anything that was happening because I could not ask a question. So internally, I felt that I was stupid, I was inadequate, I was dumb because I didn't understand math. And the truth was that I did understand math and I was intelligent, but that's not how I felt then. Because really, math and science is like the core of school. And if you don't understand that, or if you don't learn in the same way, right? Everyone learns differently. Exactly. If you don't learn that same way, they kind of kick you out of the class and they're like, you're not not smart enough. So I've seen so many people who aren't in that, who don't, that's not their forte, right? Math and science isn't their forte, where you feel like you're stupid and you're dumb because you don't know math. And that's something that I went through, and I felt like I was not good enough because I didn't understand it the way that they wanted me to understand it. It's kind of like, I don't know if anyone's seen that meme where there's a tree and they have all of these different animals try to climb the tree, but if the animal can't climb the tree, they're like, well, you're dumb, you're stupid, clearly you don't get it, so you're dumb, and they move on. But a fish can't climb the tree. Maybe a monkey can, maybe a snake can get up there, maybe a cat can jump up there, but a fish can't. You know what I'm saying? There are certain things that just can't do that. And so you learn a different way. They're the fastest one to swim, but the monkey probably have a little bit of hard time swimming. So these are things that teachers understand. You said, I learned math in Spanish. When I was placed in English class, I struggled so much as an adult. I'm learning that math wasn't hard. The language barrier made it hard. Exactly. It was a language barrier. And even if math is hard for you and you struggle with it, the way that you teach people math is like, you need to teach it in different ways so that people can understand it. So that's how I felt. So I grew up feeling that I was inadequate, that I was stupid, that I couldn't learn, that I was dumb. And I'm telling you this stuff because it's absolutely real, and it affected my career. It affected, honestly, this is why I get so passionate about these things. Hey, Tara-Lynn, how are you? And so from that, I didn't do well in my math classes. Reading is a big part of math. Right, yeah, exactly. Reading is a big part of math. So if you don't understand the actual problem, then the people who are taking the test can't actually find the solution. So the biggest thing for me, my thing was, I didn't want to do anything with math. Any career, and I'm in security, so you can laugh at it right now, but any career that was math related, I didn't want to be in it. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. Okay, like I didn't want to look at it. Any numbers, I was like, nope. My age, nope. Anything to do with math, I was out. And so that really affected me because I felt like, what careers could I go into if I didn't like math? And I had to, in order to get past that fear, I had to have an amazing college professor who taught me some math that was absolutely amazing. And then also, fortunately, I came from a family that was able to have a tutor for me, so I got a math tutor as well. But I had mental breakdowns with math, and I'm not sure if anyone else had these moments where anytime, exactly, math is absolutely beautiful. And anytime I was, solving a problem in math, I felt like I was going to have a mental breakdown. And very often I had mental breakdowns. And I thought it was the stupidest thing, because how can you have mental breakdowns solving? I mean, I like geometry, but algebra killed me. Like, what is algebra? Right? I just hated algebra. I love geometry, but hate algebra. And I would take the book and I would throw the book. I was like, this can go to, and that's how I felt. And so I had mental breakdowns exactly, and I started crying. I had so many moments. But the moment that I had a breakthrough with math was a college professor that explained math in a way that I could understand. And in that class, I had my first good healing journey with math. I started crying in the class thinking, oh my God, I finally understand what math is about. And if you listen to NPR, DM me if you want this episode. I'll find this episode for you. But when there's an episode of NPR talking about math and the effects that it has on students, right? Algebra kills most in the beginning. Right. Hate algebra. And so there is a episode at NPR that shows you, hey Roger, there's an episode at NPR that goes into the science and the beauty and the art of math. And so if you're interested in the psychology and human brains, I can give you that episode. I'll drop it in your DM. So DM me if you want that episode. It's from NPR. I will find it. That was another moment that I had a breakthrough of healing from math, okay? And so I began loving math, and I began seeing math as an instrument to get me where I want to go. Was I an expert at math? No. Was I a genius? No. Was I the best? Not really. But what happened was, in college, I started to be the top of my class in classes that mostly focused on math. Like technology type classes, like the coding classes, the networking classes, securing your network, those type of things. I started to be the top student teaching other people who are my age or older on math and understanding it. Then from that, once I unlocked that part of me of understanding that I could be intelligent, but in this moment, I still didn't understand my full scope of intelligence then. I just felt like I was good because I knew math and because now I had a breakthrough. I still was not understanding that I had a very, very good I wouldn't say genius. I would say like smarts in writing and communication and those type of things and connecting with people. I didn't understand that. I felt that that wasn't a skill. I felt that that wasn't a talent, because the only talent could be that you could solve an equation in 5 seconds. If you took more than 5 seconds to solve an equation, in my head, you're stupid. So I felt like I was stupid, okay? And so I didn't yet understand that whole part, but I just felt big and mighty because I was the top of my class, and you know, now I understand math. And from that, I became on the dean's list a couple of times. I got multiple awards. Hey Cheryl, multiple awards. I was in the honor society. I was a part of all the boards and all the clubs, and people knew me on campus, and I was all so great. Then I got into corporate. And it's a really, especially in technology, if you're in technology, you know this, especially in security, there's a huge emphasis on being tech savvy. And if you're not tech savvy, then basically you're trash. I don't know how else to say it. Hey, Lorianne, I don't know how to say it. That's basically what it is. You're trash if you don't know security and you don't know technology. That's how they treat you. That's how they act. That's how they talk to themselves, by the way, number one, and how they talk to other people. And I used to be annoyed, but I realized these people that think that people who aren't tech savvy, who say that you're trash or you're dumb or stupid, they talk to themselves like they're dumb and like they're stupid. Being able to connect with people is an underrated skill. People do business with those they know, like, and trust. Exactly, right? I just thought that, just being techie and all whatever. So I got into corporate thinking that I'm, all high and mighty, and I'm going to have like a whole tech job, and I'm going to be top of the world. And my biggest thing, my biggest insecurity was that I wasn't enough. That I wasn't good enough to be in my position. I've always been the youngest person in the room, the youngest person. I skipped 2 grades. I was in college young, in corporate young, doing business. I've always been young. So I always felt like I was just not there. It was like an imposter syndrome. There was something in me that was not good enough. And so when I figured out that I could be good, I felt like I was on top of the world. And when I got into corporate, it just felt like this was the best thing for me. But what happened when I walked into the door, right, and I was a part of the security awareness and threat intelligence team, and basically what it is, threat intelligence is knowing what's going on in the cyberspace, what hackers are doing, and making sure that information is going to the high-level executives and C-suite people and regular people as well. And then the security aspect was doing lunch and learns and all of that. There are people in high positions who suck at people skills. Exactly. Imposter syndrome is real, right, Lorianne? But it's crazy. So I got there, and the first thing that they complimented me on was my communication skills and public speaking. That killed me. I was like, what do you mean? Like, I worked all this for the tech, and that's what you're gonna compliment? So they said, hey, you know what? No one else in our department is this good at, presentation, and it has this background in coaching and mentoring, even though I was so young, but having, and I am so young, but having that background in coaching and mentoring in college and speaking. I used to teach Arab kids English, so I used to sit down and basically go through both languages. And so they were very impressed with that, and they said, hey, Fareedah, why don't you just lead the lunch and learns and take over the security training for the corporate team? And I was like, okay. And I did it, and though the people who were in there, the associates, the other corporate people, the high-level executives, they were like, we have never, ever seen a security training this good, where someone was connecting with the audience, telling stories, being themselves, showing me how to do it, and not shaming me for not knowing. And so they kept saying, like, can we have Fareedah back? Where's Fareedah? Like, can she do another lunch and learn? Right? People learn from those they relate to, right, Nidia? Exactly. And so it's like, I did not know that. And in that moment, I felt that, oh my God, if I do this, then am I smart? Because for a while, I felt like I had to be the smartest woman in the room. Because when you're in a technical position, you feel like you have to be smart. You have to be more technical than the most technical person in the room in order for you to be taken seriously. And once I kind of got over that a little bit, and I decided to shift into understanding helping non-tech savvy people get their security right online. This is before the business. This is when I wanted to shift my career in that direction. There were people who stopped me. I'm not sure if anyone else had this experience in tech. They stopped me and they're like, Fareedah, you're not going to be respected in the field if you do something that's not tech savvy, that's not technical. Because in the field, and we have all these programs like Girls Who Code or something, and they want more tech people inside of the field, which is amazing. No flack to anyone who, does Girls Who Code, who loves Girls Who Code because I love it as well. I think it's an amazing organization. But we have all of these things to try to get more technical women in the field, but we forget that technicality and security and technology is not just about your coding. It's not just about math. It is about communicating value. It's about communicating effectiveness to other people who are outside or inside of the field. That's the biggest thing that tech is not tapping into. And so they were like, but no one's going to respect you. When I did my keynote speech about end users and how we need to treat people who don't know tech differently, they said, your keynote speech shouldn't be about that. It's your keynote speech. You have to show people that you're more technical than them and smart. I was like, girl, if they invited me to do a keynote speech, I think I deserve to be on stage. I know I deserve to be on stage. So that I had to get over that. I had so many people telling me that I should not do it, but I decided to do it anyways. Why? Because I understood how it felt to be that person who felt dumb, inadequate, and stupid in the room. Most people, when they're talking about technical things to non-technical people, they don't care to understand if you understand them or not. And they think that you're stupid for not understanding or not protecting your kids or your business in the first place. And that's why I started it. If you go back in my timeline, I have a video called How Living in Saudi Arabia Birthed My Online Security Movement. That's where I talk a lot about the whole tech mindset, about other people are stupid if you're not technical. And I hate that. And I hated it because of my experience with this math thing that I just said today, and my experience being the only Black American in a school full of mostly Arabs. And yes, there are Black Arabs, but it wasn't a lot of Black Arabs. And Black Arabs, they view African American people differently. It was not all, negative. Of course, there was amazing positive moments. And honestly, I still want to buy a second house in Saudi Arabia so I can live there, or UAE or Dubai or whatever, because there's a part of me that's connected to that. And I'll talk about that a little bit more. But I wanted to share that if you ever feel like, oh, I'm not tech savvy and so I can't build a funnel in my business, or I can't do this, or I can't do that, that may not be your skill, but you're not intelligent because of that. That's why I'm so passionate. You're not intelligent because of that. And so that's why the online security movement was birthed. That's why I always say it's for the non-tech savvy. If you have not joined my group, make sure you join there. It's called Online Security Movement on Facebook. My biggest thing is empathetic security, connecting with people where you are, because I realize that you're intelligent and you're enough in what you do. I'm not a lawyer. My intelligence and smarts is not in the lawyer. And my intelligence and smarts is not in business processes and systems. My intelligence and smarts isn't being a doctor, a mother, a lawyer, a homemaker. None of that. That's not me. My intelligence and smarts is in communication, writing, public speaking, and security. That's it. And even that, I'm not the best at everything. I'm really good, but I'm not the best, and I still can learn. And so I just want to leave you all with that message. We all came from something. And for me, it's important that we treat ourselves with empathy, that we understand that, like Lorianne said, that we all have different strengths and abilities. So I don't know, this has been this May month is so emotional for me. And so I'm going to be sharing more of myself, because I forgot for the past few years, I have not been my full self. And so right now I'm showing up in my full self, and I'm not going to cry. I'm going to end this video before I cry. But I am showing up in my full self, and I cannot wait to connect with all of you. If you have any questions about security, join my group, ask the question. If you have questions personally for me or something, feel free to DM me, connect with me. I love connecting with people. I love providing value, and I appreciate all of you. I'm looking forward to speaking with you. And I'm going to end with, my name is Fareedah Shahid. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you all for watching. If this has helped someone, share it with other people, because this could help somebody. My name is Fareedah Shahid. I teach non-tech savvy online small business owners on how to protect your money and your business from cyber criminals or hackers online. It was amazing to speak with you, and until next time, bye.